Namaste and hello. So today's sharing is in response to one of my young students, in which when I asked, "Who are you?" she replied, "I am me." Now that's a condensed version of the discussion we had, but that was the end result. So my response was, who is this me that you're referring to? Are there two people there? There is the I and there is the me. Which one are you? And so the discussion got a little deep, so I decided to make this video to see if I can clarify things. So if you would like to realize your true self, follow along. My name is Kai, and I just share what I know. I don't want to die with this information in me. So feel free to ask questions or make comments down below, share the video, that kind of thing. So who are you? Are you the I or are you the me? Well, as I see it, and as I experience it within myself, anything that I can term my indicates that it's not me. For instance, these are my glasses, right? I own these things. Is there any logical, not crazy way I can say that these are me? These aren't me. They can't be me. I can get rid of them and I'll still be me, right? So they can't be me. They can't be the true me. Now, so this body is my body. I own it. The thoughts that go on in my head are my thoughts. I own them. The feelings that this body has, if you noticed, I started to say my feelings, because I own them. I am not them. They are just something that I have. This body is something that I have. I reside in it. They say that the body is the temple of the soul. Well, which are you? Are you the temple or are you the soul? Can't have it both ways. Now, the way I see it, the I notices I have thoughts. There's thoughts going on in here. The I is the true self. I am. When God was asked, "Who are you? What's your name?" He said, "I am." Now, according to the Bible. And so anything after the words "I am" is referring to God. I am smart, I am stupid, I am happy, I am sad. Anything after the I am is referring to God. So, breaking that down further, let's say that I have an emotion. There is an emotion happening within my body. I feel this pleasure, or I feel this pain, or I feel this whatever it is sensationally that I'm feeling. Well, there is the feeling of pain, but there is that which is aware of that feeling, and it itself is feeling no pain or pleasure or anything else. It's just paying attention to what's going on in the world, in my world. Anything that my attention focuses on, my attention, the attention is what I own. It's not who I am. So if you can say "my" before it, it means that you're referring to something external to you. It's something you own. Now, I am me. So let's break down the me a little bit. Who is this me that you refer to? Am I the body? Am I the thoughts? Am I the activity that I do in the world? Am I what other people tell me that I am? The me is kind of that's the suit we put on in order to interact with the world. Me. And me is a construct. Just like if you were to put on a certain set of clothing and somebody came up to you and said, "Ooh, I like your clothing." The next person came up to you and said, "Ooh, I don't like your clothing." well, neither one of them has anything to do with you and who you know, who you are. It has to do with the choices that you've made in the world. So that's the me. The me is that which other people can see and have opinions on and crap like that. And that was built from the time you were born until you're present. Well, right there, until you're present. But it's not who you are. You are that which the me was built upon. Continually turn your awareness back in on itself. What is it that's aware of anything that's going on inside your system? Are you having a thought? What's aware of that? What's looking? What's looking for the awareness itself? Keep going back. What you're trying to do is you're trying to dislodge the thought because you've been trained to believe that you are the conglomerate of what you've been taught, and you're not. Because anything that you've been taught, somebody has been learning. And it's that which is you. What learned? I've just recently been becoming quite aware that I talk a lot with my hands. I guess that's part of the entertainment persona. But so there is something fundamental within us that drives that drives the body, that animates the body, right? Because without that special essence, the body can't do anything at all. The body can't feel. The body can't think. The body can't know. The body can't do without some essence, some specific essence within us that animates it, that makes it do all this stuff. It's like the electric that turns on the lamp. And that electric is who we are at core. I am that which runs the body. I am not the body. Right? So when I say me, well, yeah, I may be referring to this outer core, this outer personality or something like that. But that's not me. That's not who I am. I am that which is aware of all of that. I am that which is experiencing it. It's an essence within. And by continually turning your attention back in on itself, what happens is eventually the identification with the body, with the mind, with the thoughts, with the emotions, things like that, with the events of the world, that kind of goes, that switches. And you can recognize, oh, wait, this body and the emotions and all of that jazz that go with it, that's kind of like the vehicle I drive, you know. I often say that this body is a stream of events that started back in at the beginning of all creation or explosion or whatever, however all this, the great mystery came about. But as long as there have been physical things in the universe, things have been bouncing against each other and running alongside each other. And it's just events that just keep happening over and over. And it's a stream that could be followed all the way back to the very beginning of time or very beginning of activity. And for a moment, this stream of action has taken the form of this body. And now I can, this it's kind of like a wave with the curl, you know? And let's see if I can do it. There you go. So the wave with the curl, you know, during the time that this body is coherent enough to support me inside of it, can support the I am, then I can ride this body as though it's a surfer riding a wave. I can make it go back and forth and do all kinds of fun stuff, or at least I can ride it back and forth and kind of direct my direction, so to speak, direct the activity. But it's not me. It's just I'm riding it. Well, at some point, this form will start to dissipate, just like a wave in the ocean. You know, it breaks, and then there's that white foam, and you can see the wave continuing. And so that's what's happening now to this form. I mean, I now have elephant skin. I didn't have that when I was young. I now have this white hair, which I didn't have when I was young. I've got wrinkles and various other things going on. See? But that's not me. That's just the activity stream moving on. It's continuing to do what it does. And at some point, it will dissipate to the point where I can no longer ride it. I'm going to have to get off the wave, so to speak, and leave it to go on about its merry way so that I can go on my merry way. Right? So, the term I am me, well, if you drop the me, what's left? I am. If you drop either one of those next two words, what happens if you drop the I? Am. That's it. Just am. For convenience sake, verbally we say, I am. Well, the I is that which is actually doing the speaking, but the am is doing the living. Activity happens. Am, the I within the am, just pays attention. It just sees what's happening. It's okay. It doesn't get hurt. If you're feeling mad, who knows that you're mad? The body doesn't know. The body's stupid. I mean, it doesn't do a damn thing except for keep itself going. But even that doesn't happen if the essence on the inside isn't present. So the body in and of itself is absolutely innocent. This face is absolutely innocent. It's a meat. It's like an article of clothing that hangs in the fridge, or in the closet. And I take it out and I put it on. I'm here for 80 years. I'm wearing the same outfit of clothes for 80, 90 years, 100 years, whatever it is. Very short span of time. And when you open up your mind and think universal time, and by recognizing that that which is truly me it's hard to say, because words are dualistic. I have to refer to someone in order to, there has to be an object and a subject. And so it's difficult to talk about. The me is what you see in the mirror. The I is what is doing the looking. And now both what the mirror is reflecting is something that's external to me, right? The mirror, if you're looking in the mirror is an external object. Just like for me, this camera this phone is the external object. But I am not the reflection in the mirror, the filming in the camera. I am not that. I am also not what you see physically. This is a vehicle that I ride. I take care of my vehicle. I do my best maybe not my best, but I do what I can to keep it healthy. For social purposes, I try and keep it attractive as best I can. But it's not really a big deal, except for the fact that people pay attention to people. When you're looking your best, people pay attention to that more than they do without. But people with depth, if they have some deepness to them, then they don't see the external form as much. And in the case of being in this body, I want to keep it. I want to keep it healthy. I want to keep it functional. I want to keep it useful to the best of my ability while I'm here. That doesn't mean I can stop aging. I'm going to have elephant skin and age spots and all that good stuff no matter what this body is. I'm going to own. And I'm going to have. When I say I am. I'm going to have this body, these age spots. Well, they're all, that's a way of saying it's mine. I own it, right? I own the elephant skin. I own the white hair. I own the wrinkles. I own the age spots. I own all of that stuff. But that's not me. So, if you sit, I'm going to see if I can adjust this a little bit. Well, I said a little bit, not a lot. I would pause this and start all over again, but I'm sorry, but I'm just not that technologically advanced. There we go. Let's try this again. Here. So, I'm sitting cross-legged on my bed in my RV, and I have my hands like this on my lap. So if I sit like this and I take my back and I stack my vertebrae so that one on top of each other, so I don't have to work with muscles to hold me upright. I can just let my spine and everything. So I'm nice and comfortable. One way of doing that is once you get into a seat, I'm sitting cross-legged. And once I have a pillow underneath my butt, and it's actually called a zafu, and it's designed for meditation, sitting for meditation. So I place my hands like this, and then I just close my eyes, and I start trying to become, I notice what it is what I'm noticing. Like if I'm just sitting here in meditation, I'm not going to do it because it doesn't do any good for you to hear it, or because you won't hear anything. Excuse me, it'll just look like me sitting here. So I'll explain what I'm doing. So if I was to be doing a meditation, the first thing I would do is I would start concentrating on this sensation of breathing. I'd either pay attention to how it's going in and out of my nose, or I'll pay attention to my lungs as they go in and out, or my belly as it goes in and out. A good place to pay attention is right here in the sternum, because the diaphragm, as it goes up and down, it kind of moves in and out. And that's a good place for recognizing sensation. So right here, there's some sensation. So I'm going to take my attention, my awareness, and I'm going to direct it to here. But not just here on the surface. It's not just this spot on the surface in the skin, but I'm going to go inside and see if I can feel, what does it feel like in there amongst my organs to have that movement happening. And I'm going to just see if I can pay attention to that until what happens is my mind starts to calm down. At first it won't. I mean, it'll go all over the place. It just cruises. The brain is funny. It's like Tourette's syndrome or Parkinson's, because it's kind of like the hand is really useful unless it's doing this all the time. But let's say that it goes like this all the time, but then you have the ability to take hold of it and calm it down and do something specific with it. But the moment you let go of that attention on it, it starts doing this again. And that's the way the brain is, the untrained mind. So if I sit here and I constantly keep bringing my attention back to the awareness of breath, the sensation of what that is, then what happens is I am able to... Fun stuff. Don't you just love suction cups on a mirror? Let's see if that holds it for a while. So, if I'm just sitting here like this, then what will happen, and I'm just paying attention to that sensation, eventually my mind will get tired of chasing its own tail and it'll start to shut up. And every time my attention gets caught up in a thought, because they love to grab you and take you with them, especially when you're not trained to stay put. Every time I start to recognize that, wait a minute, I'm lost in thought. Well, I'm going to pay attention to what's going on inside now. So I just keep bringing my attention back. And I don't worry about how many times I lose track of being caught in thought. Eventually, I'll come back to, just sitting here like this and knowing that I can't move until the ding of a timer. Well, it kind of forces me to, eventually I'll figure out, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be paying attention to this. So I'll just come back to here. And I just keep doing that until the timer hits. When the timer rings, I bow and move on. I try to bring that same awareness, here, let me refocus. Well, I guess I may have to hold this thing. So I'm going to try it one more time. If it breaks free. Again, I guess I'll just have to stop. But every time I got lost of where I was going there with that. So if I can stand up from meditation and I take that calmness, I don't want to just jump up from meditation. I want to recenter myself. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to remain aware of my breathing while I stand up. I'm going to try and remain aware of my breathing as I walk to handle my, to interact with my child or to cook or whatever. I'm going to try to remain aware of my breathing while I do all these other things. And that's called taking meditation off the seat. So that's kind of the ultimate goal. Now, what will happen in this process is at some point you'll realize, well, wait a minute, while I'm sitting here doing this, there is something that's doing it. What is it that's doing it? What's directing me to continually keep bringing my attention back to sitting? There's something there. Look for it. Find out who you are on the inside. Because you are not me. You are that which has a me. In many of the religious texts, when people are talking about finding this original awareness, that is, all right, well, pardon me, but we'll get a little messy here. I'm going to hold my camera now since the holder keeps breaking loose. At some point, by continually bringing the awareness back to what is it that's running the me. Oh, I remember what I was saying. So in most religious texts, at least of the wisdom traditions, not the devotional traditions, which is what Christianity is, and Islam, those are devotional. But of the wisdom traditions, those are the ones that what you can know for yourself. You don't have to really have faith in it, because I don't have faith that I have a right hand. I just know that I have a right hand. It's just as apparent as anything, and nothing can, it's just what is. But know thyself. That's basically what everybody tells you. Know thyself. Who am I? So they find themselves by negating who they are. Meaning to say, am I these eyes? No, I can be aware of the eyes. Am I this brain? No, I can be aware of the brain. Am I these thoughts? No, I can be aware of the thoughts. Am I this hearing? No, I can be aware of the hearing. Am I this body? No, I can be aware of it. Anything I can be aware of can't be me. It's kind of like a flashlight. A flashlight can shine on everything, but when does the light, what's doing the shining? Well, that's what you're trying to find, is what is it that's running you? What is it that wants to be pretty? Is that me? Is that the construct? What is it that wants to be popular? Is that me, the construct? Or is that the I that's just witnessing the fact that you want to be popular or whatever, pretty or handsome or brave or whatever? What is it that's just kind of, oh, okay, well, that's what it wants, you know? The I itself sees the bravery. It isn't the brave. The I itself experiences everything that we experience, but experience is just experience. It's not the I. Now remember, I am using words, dualistic words, to try and describe all this. So it doesn't quite reach the threshold of it points to what I'm describing. It's kind of like the finger pointing at the moon. Most people look at the finger when you talk and they say, oh, well, that has something to do, the words. No, I'm pointing to something, an experience inside your own head, inside your own system, body-mind system. You can experience it for yourself. There is that which you do, and there is that which is aware of what you do. Try and find the awareness. Try and find that which is aware. Anyway, I hope this kind of helps. Well, oh, one other thing. A way that you can possibly get a sense of this. Have the intention of lifting your arm, but don't lift it. What's motivating that? You can feel an intention of a lift, but what is it that's creating that intention? What is it that's directing it? Turn around, go inside, see if you can find that mentally. And with your awareness, go back and see if you can find what it is that's aware. And eventually you will. And when that happens, your world changes. So I hope this helps. And just for anybody else who I've already informed the young lady I was originally aiming this for, of this one fact, set a timer for about 15 minutes or so, and 15, 20 minutes, and just sit, look within, be here now, and experience what it's like to be in a body. As far as we know, for sure, you've not been in a body before. What does it feel like to be inside one of these things? I hope it helps. Namaste.